in ways Sydney is blessed by a fantastic coastline, which has been so beautifully explored. And you remember Darling Harbour, where we were, close to around 5,000 hotel rooms, right where the ICC hall is, and still that entire green open space, only because of the well utilized, I would like to say, design principles of making an integrated development between roads, buildings, the way the entire thing flows. I think there was huge learning for us, especially cities like Mumbai can develop so much better if we kind of take a cue out of these kind of town plannings that have taken place internationally. And we were fortunate to have our minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, also attend the conference, and I had the opportunity in about 5 minutes before that to quickly show him the infrastructure development and how a beautiful integrated infrastructure allows for, while it's absolutely dense area, it still allows for a feeling of openness. You remember that entire big public space that was there with a huge, I would like to say, a performance stage that was put up out there. I mean, it was just so perfect. I think, and the very fact, the way the harbour was developed, you saw all those boats, yachts parked out there, which kind of leads us to at least imagine that if the Mumbai coastline could be used similarly, one is we could have, beyond the coastal road and beyond the metro, we'd even have, the ability of people using the waterways. And why not, right? This morning I was reading, the development of the Mumbai airport. And we had, the officers speak about how having a creek next to the new airport will also allow for water transportation of goods, etc. We have to use all available means to kind of create better developments in a particular area. And not only that, I had the good fortune of a friend of mine hosting me over a lunch. And I think, he just came to the harbour, picked me up from there, and we went on his little speedboat and we had lunch. I mean, all these are experiences. A city is all about the experiences created, right? If you have these kind of experiences, the city becomes a lot more interesting. People come to the city. There's a lot more life that is brought into the city. And by that life and the city becoming interesting, more and more people, tourism, beyond just, people coming to live and work out there, also become a reality. And I don't know if you noticed, but there was a data center very close to our hotel, where we were, between the ICC and our hotel. There was a data center. It was right in the heart of that entire district. But I bet you, till at least I was told it was a data center, I had not even realized. I just thought it's one more kind of structure right there. So lots of learnings that we brought back from Sydney. Of course, that also adds to our enthusiasm. It also kind of opens up, our mindset itself. I had the opportunity of visiting Bondi Beach, where there's a seamless integration in residential areas, a lot of eateries, I would like to say, or evening recreational spaces, clubs or pubs, and everything was so brilliantly put out there that though again there was a lot of people visiting the place, there was a lot of easy, smooth, traffic flow, etc. I guess all of these things put along with the fact that, once we bring in good development, we also kind of got to continually educate on the civic side our population to get the most out of it. Sure. So again, I had reservations, like I told you initially, about going all the way to Sydney for 3 days. But I must say, one of my best trips in those three and a half days that I was there, the learning was immense, and I've come back richer in knowledge. I don't think that we are trying. I'm pretty confident our Honorable Prime Minister will be able to pull the might or the weight of the entire nation to kind of make certain that we have the Olympics hosted in India. I'm hoping that some part of it also comes to Maharashtra in a large way. And, the fact that if the Olympics comes along, I think we're looking at 2036. It's a matter of great pride for the entire country. It's also a way to kind of spruce up our cities, our infrastructure, because the whole world will be coming over here. And India is going to become the third largest economy shortly. We should start flexing our muscle out there. What I did observe is that, even with the Olympics, or rather because of the Olympics, and because of the world having its eyes on you, a lot of sustainable development is taken up. And that was another thing that, if you observed it at our NATCON, we had a lot of sustainability discussions. What exactly a city should have, or how exactly a developer should go about it, and how cities also aid the developers in getting sustainable development done. I'm fairly confident that with the coming of the Olympics, there'll be infrastructure growth. I think city to city transportation by rail, road, air is already extremely good, but we might see a few more airports. All this will add to the economy of a place. Newer businesses in terms of hospitality, maybe student, accommodations. All of these will also improve. The very nature of our entertainment business will change. There'll be hopefully a lot more places that one can recreate, because finally you got to create a community around the places that you live in, and that is why you still see that around the world we encourage, or rather developments encourage, the coming of restaurants, the coming of theaters, the coming of arts and crafts, the coming of culture to a city. All of these will get added, and we will get a chance as developers to prove to the world that we are better than, or as good as, or better than everybody else as well. I'm, for one, very hopeful. Like I said, my fingers are crossed that some part of it also comes to Maharashtra, and Mumbai also gets to benefit out of it. Where will you find a city with such verdant landscapes, including our national park, our hanging gardens, and at the same point of time has the advantage of being a coast, which is so beautiful? And again, proud to say that the government is investing in the infrastructure. Something that was not done in the last 70 years has been done in the last, I would say, 70 months. And going forward, we'll see a lot more of this. Sprucing up of our gardens, sprucing up of our roads, setting up or building large STPs so that there's no raw sewage pumped into the sea, thereby adding to our coastline. A few things that we've been looking forward to, a few ports or a few harbors being created for the people who enjoy being on the water, to be able to get the most out of it. All of this will become a reality. Olympic hosted, a nation which hosts the Olympics, actually opens its doors up to technology, to innovation, to development, to all kinds of opportunities. And I'm very hopeful that we, the developers, will make the most of it. And the Credai team of 1,110 developers that visited Sydney will do our bit of working shoulder to shoulder with the government to provide for all the amenities that are required for the Olympics. Integrate technology, whether it be into construction techniques, so that we are able to improve sustainable development, we are able to kind of create more efficiency. We'll have to bring in technology into design, we'll have to bring in technology into the way we serve our consumers, we'll have to bring in technology in the way that properties are handled post. So all of these things, and we realize that there is a separate group of people that is absolutely working with technology, but they have no access to us, right? Or rather access to a very few bunch of investors. And these investors aren't generally the best in terms of knowing what the industry requires. So at Credai, we decided that it is the opportune time to set up a fund which could be A, guided by us in terms of what the requirement would be, B, to give it the platform that is the market usage of it, and at the same point of time be able to invest in it so there's a bit of ownership from the fraternity itself. And that's how the birth of Spire came about. I think it's a 400 crore fund, and we're already evaluating close to around 14 or 15 proposals. And the average investment size would be anywhere between 3.5 to 15 crores. I would like to say that we'll not shy away from investing more, but we'll continually monitor, guide, understand, be able to show the way of what the future may need for us, and be able to kind of offer the insights to the creators of the technology for us. So yeah, I think going forward, technology is going to play a big part, like everybody knows in all businesses, and we still haven't seen the snowball effect of that. But I'm hopeful that we at Credai would have created enough in-house intelligence to be able to make the most of it, so that we are able to provide for better homes or better environments in the future. So certain pockets that you observe usually have a quicker growth in appreciation. And that is because they are sought after locations where there was limited or no supply. And then suddenly, when the supply starts coming, people start making a beeline, and then supply demand situations are always governing what the prices should be. I would say on a stable basis, real estate should give you a return of about 12 to 14% year on year, which means that that would be the appreciation in prices. Given inflation and the fact that real estate is the number one, I would say, hedge or a tool as a hedge against inflation. Investors or rather even those that were staying away from it in the past have become astute enough and are reading up enough to be able to invest in it. Certain locations, certain types of development will see faster appreciation. For instance, student housing is taking on in a very big way. I would say senior living, which is at, I think, about 2 million today, 2 billion opportunity will grow to 11 billion opportunity in time to come. You will see warehousing coming up in massive proportions, not only on the outskirts of the cities, but in city, warehousing would take place. We've seen internationally people use storage spaces for documentation, family heirlooms, furniture, when they're moving homes or when they just need to kind of use the extra space and they don't want to put it in their own homes because that's more expensive real estate. We will see a lot of healthcare, need in cities coming up. And this healthcare is not only going to be your typical hospitals, but also places where, your lifestyle amenities or your lifestyle health is taken care of. All of these are newer forms of real estate requiring businesses that will kind of grow real estate. Having said that, I think your question was limited to residential prices. Yeah. I, as a developer and as someone who's given the opportunity to serve Credai as the president, would like to state to all our members that we should look at velocity as the premium. We should continue to make sure that we are able to provide the service to we are basically providing homes, which is such a human task, right? You give somebody a home and then you give them a life entirely. So continue to give them these homes at prices that are acceptable, affordable to them. Of course, the government over here, I bring up my pet subject about how affordable homes are not really taking off, even though there's a remarkable need for them, only because of our explanations or efforts not meeting or not being able to get across to the governmental side of it. We recently had a discussion around with a few of the FMs that met as a group of ministers over something as simple as GST, and we kind of took back our plea to them that you should go ahead and allow for input tax credits to be given as an opportunity to developers. So the assessment system can be brought in, or the composite system can be brought in. Both of them are supposedly cash neutral for the government. So allow a developer, when they're launching a project, to go ahead and choose between the two. And then that project can run as per one of those choices itself. So you can have 5% on a composite scheme or 12% after land, being provided for, being in the assessment scheme, and allow them to pass on the advantage to the consumers, because that would help in a lot of at least affordable housing cases, would help reduce the transaction cost for our consumer. And at the same point of time, we had a definition of 45 lakhs brought to us in the year 2017. If you just did the inflation math, that is about 75 lakh rupees right now. Why have a cost, as a limitation? Why not just make it a size limitation? 30 square meters, 60 square meters. Allow for people to have a good, healthy lifestyle. 60 square meters is the minimum basic that is required. Otherwise, we could provide them 30 square meter homes, but they would only be good enough for a young couple, because in a 30 square meter, all you can do is one bedroom, a small little alleyway kitchen, or a kitchen, and a little hall. And we've seen internationally, globally, best practices for housing mean that homes have got to be at least about 60 square meters to be able to sustain a family. So we will keep pushing. We will keep expressing our point of view. The government, to its credit, has always given us a year. Sometimes it does take time. The parlay has to be stronger, and we have to kind of continue pushing for our points. But the day all these things happen, you'll see a strong surge in affordable housing. And that is where, when more international funds will start looking at India, because there's a whole slew of sustainable funds, funds that are looking at doing affordable housing, etc., waiting at the doorsteps and not finding enough avenues to invest. We should take maximum advantage of this. India has become the sweet investment opportunity. We should allow for people to come in over here, invest funds so that we are able to build our cities for a 2030 or a 2047 Viksit Bharat that is going to be there. It won't happen with only our kind of capital. It has to be international capital brought in. And again, we've seen, around the world examples about how housing has driven, or on the back of housing, GDPs have risen and countries have become rich. It happened in the US, it happened in Japan, it happened in Korea. Nobody can forget what happened in China. Today, India is your number one spot. You should encourage investments in India. Bring them here. There's a great amount of change that's taking place. We have RERA today. We have a good number of developers that are doing very good, clean jobs. Give them the opportunity. Let us take this ahead and let us build a Viksit Bharat shoulder to shoulder with the government and achieve for every Indian the dream of owning a home.